Let us read a guide on reactionary tech chasing. Alright guys, won't this be fun? The table of contents. It includes an introduction, some frame data, tech chasing as fast characters, tech chasing as slower characters, the cool stuff, the setups, the throws, miscellaneous, and an example set. Alright, some of this I'm probably going to skim through because I already probably know a chunk of it. Alright, introduction. Characters with faster ground movements are able to react to... Okay, this is stupid. This guide is an attempt to help Peach players understand their options while tech chasing opponents in a way that lets them maximize their punishes. Alright, frame data! For all of us nerds out there. 12 to 15 frames, the assumed reaction time of a melee player. 26 frames, the length of tech in place animation. Invincible 1 to 20 for everyone except Pichu and Pikachu, who are... Pikachu is invincible from 1 to 24 frames in tech in place? What is this bullshit? Alright. The length of animation of a tech roll is 40 frames, and they're vulnerable in the last 20. Jesus. Okay. The get up attack animation can be reacted to. The get up in place animation is about the same as their tech in place animation. The get up roll animation is about the same as their tech roll animation. This is true for almost all characters. Melee runs at 60 frames per second. This information is extremely important for what we're going to do. Tech chasing is fast characters. We don't care, because fuck them, we're a slow character. Tech chasing is slower characters. Without reliable information for reaction times and tech chases, or any... What? Without reliable information for reaction times in tech chases, or any Peach player who can tech chase on reaction perfectly, I cannot say what is or is not possible. Aha, okay. If the reaction times already assumed are true, then Peach could tech chase on reaction perfectly, with limited follow-ups, on at least some characters. But I am unable to do this yet. So he's saying either he sucks, his reaction time sucks, or it's not really actually possible, but in theory it is. Okay. So some combination of that. Alright. For now, I will focus on reactionary tech chasing that covers a few options reliably. The cool stuff! And now that all the nitty-gritty details are out of the way, we can start looking at setups. For all intents and purposes, missing a tech is the same as a tech in place for these setups. In any given situation, Peach can react to exactly 2 tech options and read exactly 1. This is only not true if their tech lengths are shortened by being at the edge or on any platform, in which case Peach can react to all 3. That's why I've started down... Okay, so that sense right there, let me explain that one to you. Here, where's my character? So that sentence right there, the fact that if you're by a ledge, you can react to all 3. So like if I don't like Yoshi's because it's got a angled ledge. I lied. Get on Battlefield. So like if I get a grab at lower percents and you try to, so if I try to up throw at 0%, they're gonna hit the like platform and there's no real good follow up you can do because up air won't combo. They're too low. They crash cancel or do something. So what I'll do is I'll down throw, and then you get another down throw, and then you react and you get another down throw, and then you get another down throw. Whoops, I fucked up. But as you can see, you can do shit like that when their back is to the ledge. Because like they can't, the tech away is still coverable. You don't have to guess it. Alright, great. Let us go back to story time. Oops, wrong one. Alright, great. So that's what they mean by this. I believe that you can either grab or dash attack any option she covers. Grab hits on frame 7 and dash attack on frame 6, so the timing is similar. On Miss Tech, a flow cancel nair will work as well. It comes out on frame 10. Peach can also soft cover options by forcing her opponents into shield. I normally wouldn't mention this except that her shield pressure is amazing and will usually guarantee a hit or other advantage. Finally, the following setups don't involve movement, but Peach can use tricky movement to fool her opponents into selecting certain tech options. Setups. If both opponents are... Oh, in this case, both opponents are grounded. In this position, Peach can cover tech in, both tech in and tech in place, but not tech away. She could cover tech away if she made a hard read before Fox hits the ground. However, Peach can cover all three options as Fox is cut off by the side of the stage or any platform shown above. Okay, so I guess... What does it say next? Okay. So the interesting thing... Yo, later, Josh. Thanks for stopping by. Have fun. Do well in class. So I think the interesting thing about this right here is that, so she can't technically cover tech away, but people who tech away are probably not gonna, like, tech away and roll away or something. Like, it kind of becomes... Like, if they tech away, then it becomes a mix-up of are they going to, like, try to shine or shield or do some other attack, like jab you or attack you or up smash. Because you're still technically in an advantageous situation. Like, you could run at them and grab them. You could run at them and, like, if you think they're going to do something, like, you know, or come at them with, like, a float-canceled aerial or something. So... It's like technically you can't cover that, I guess, by reaction perfectly, but you can. It still forces them into a bad situation. So it's good to know that apparently this is where you need to stand to like be able to cover tech in place and tech away. And then here, as we said, you know, he's cut off by the edge, so tech away doesn't really work. Okay. So Peach is in the air and the opponent's grounded. This picture, Fox will be lying down after a missed tech or teching at this moment. If Fox missed the tech, Peach can come down at any time. It's possible to react to float canceled fair, but not possible to do so in a way that hits Peach. So the Fox is forced to attack or get hit. Or forced to act or get hit. Oh, I get it, because if you come down with the float cancel forward air, you can just shield the get up attack if he doesn't. React to get up attack by shielding. The Peach can either come down directly on top of the Fox or can hit the Fox at the tip of the attack. If Peach comes down on the Fox, she can read get up, roll away, or react to get up in place. If Peach spaces away from Fox, she can react to both get up, roll in, or get up in place. It's basically the same situation as when both characters are grounded, except Peach has to account for get up attack. Alright, if the Fox is teching, this situation is exactly the same as the situation outlined above, except for a few things. Peach knows exactly when the tech is going to start. Peach doesn't have to worry about get-up attack. Finally, Peach can attack the time the float cancel fair to hit Fox's tech in place / miss tech and cover tech roll on reaction. Tech roll in on reaction. This is only true if she spaces away from the Fox. I feel like if you land on top of the Fox, would you have an easier time like covering both? I don't know. The use of any other aerial to cover techs, as long as the techs are not shown by platform or stage, will force Peach to read her opponent's options. No reactions are possible. If she chooses to close, if she is close to frame perfect, she may be able to cover tech in place this way and read her roll in a certain direction with the dash attack, but this is not recommended. So don't do that. Come down with the forward air and then try to react to either staying in place or going away. Peach and opponent are both on the platform. This situation allows for Peach for a large amount of control with regards to how she tech chases. She can cover the in-place option with float canceled aerial and grab tech rolls on reaction, or cover all three options on reaction as discussed in the situation where both players are grounded. Oops. Peach is under the platform, or not on it. Opponent is on the platform. Okay, so this is what we see Armada always do with his up airs, and it's like bullshitty. This is probably Peach's most difficult option to cover, yet Armada somehow always is amazing. It depends highly on how much time she has to reach the platform. The situation commonly follows Peach's up throw on fast fallers. There are 4 basic ways to approach this situation. Where did I get this link? Somebody linked it to me a long time ago, and then someone posted it in a group somewhere else. I've had it, so it's been around. Someone linked it in my stream like a long time ago. You know what I should do? I should spell tech chase right. Boom. Okay. Alright, so we're on a platform. If they're on a platform and we're below them, what can we do? We can rise with an arrow. This is the most common option Peach players will choose by far. It covers a single option possible to as shown above, with high reward. Normally up air or nair. Purely read based. Jump without the aerial. Alright. Peach can cover all 3 tech options on reaction this way by drifting through the air and reacting with nair. She can also fake a rising aerial as shown in the picture above, but instead waveland to cover tech roll away. Land on the platform. Peach's fastest way to reach any platform in this game is to full hop and then double jump land. It's 8 frames faster than wave landing in place, or something like that. If Peach wants to cover every option of a smaller platform with down smash, such as the Yoshi's or Fountain Dream, she can try this option. It's especially good against low percent fast rollers. It's actually good to know. I didn't think about that. Float on the platform. Peach can also float on the platform to nair or up air once the opponent attacks. This covers the same option as rising arrow, but is especially useful against opponents who are just waiting on the ground with plans to get up attack. Yeah, that's pretty obvious. You see people do that a lot. Throws. Peach's throws aren't very good tools in general to force tech chases, especially against lighter characters. Her up throw can force tech chases on platforms and sometimes on the ground, but not usually. Her forward throw and back throw can also force tech chases on platforms, but they're very situational. Her down throw will always force a tech chase against characters who foul faster. Her down throw is important because every option can be often reacted to if opponents are at the side of the stage or on a platform. She can also down throw an opponent if they tech roll to the edge of the platform and tech chase the platform. She can also down throw an opponent if they tech roll to the edge of a platform and the tech chase on the platform will be reset. They cannot escape. Right. Okay. Which we've also seen. Because it's like if they're on a platform, they tech roll to one side, you grab them, your back is still facing the platform, so when you down throw them, they can't DI off the platform, you just do it again. Grab, dash attack, and aerials are the only attacks Peach can use in reactionary tech chases. The exception is down smash, which will sometimes cover every option. Peach cannot use turn-ups and reactionary tech chases. The best she can hope for is a Stitch Face or Bomb to cover 1 or 2 options while she covers the third. Example. So now we're gonna move on to this part. So I think, again, I said when I read this from fiction, it put a lot of thoughts in my head, and it kind of made me think about things about why I personally was bad at tech chasing. All right. So how to improve your tech chasing? The more you repeat a certain way of thinking, the more optimized your brain becomes for thinking in that way. For instance, if someone wants to juggle several objects at once, they will begin by juggling just 2 or 3 objects. As their brain becomes used to tracking the motion and timing of objects which they have thrown into the air, they can add more and more objects into their calculations. Tech chasing is very similar. Every time you try to tech chase someone, you have to calculate your possible punishes using a mental structure you've created. If you look at tech chasing from a wrong perspective structurally, not only does it make getting better at tech chasing harder, but as the pattern becomes ingrained, you may even fail to realize what you're doing wrong. So basically what fiction's saying is you need to practice tech chasing. Like, it's kind of like, you know, it's not practice makes perfect, but it's good practice makes perfect or whatever. So the problem here is that you need to think about tech chasing in the right ways, not just oh look, there they are. Oh, now I need to try to cover with options or something. I don't know what I'm doing. Help. Like, you know, you need to have a plan in motion to tech chase, basically. When I played Armada for the very first time, I was absolutely astounded by his reaction time, especially his tech chases. Peach is not a very fast character on the ground, but he manages to react successfully to tech options almost every time. My first reflex was to shrug it off as natural talent. When I asked him about it, he replied that if you do something enough times, you will become faster and faster. I was confused at first and believed it was a flawed self-analysis, but because many of us have been playing for years without anywhere near the same results. The more I watched, however, the more a pattern emerged. In almost any situation, Armada's exact reaction to a tech chase option can be consistently guessed before the tech chase even happened. Extreme consistency is his forte, so it makes sense that his tech chases would develop in this way. The more I thought about it and compared my own tech chasing to his, the more I realized that I had been thinking about tech chasing entirely wrong, without it even being aware of it. So basically, Armada's a genius, is kind of what it comes down to. Fiction and Mac to your favorite team, yeah. So, what he's saying here basically is that Armada looked really hard and realized that like you have to practice tech chasing, covering certain options with certain ideas. And so Fiction basically analyzed Armada and used his words to realize that he was doing it all wrong. So option-based learning. My natural tech chasing style is to think about a single option in my head very hard. I'll try to make a read based on stage positioning percent and what the opponent might be thinking. Then I'll spend the short time before he hits the ground figuring out the most brutal possible response to that singular situation. If that option happens, great, huge payoff. However, when it doesn't happen, I just tend to rely on my raw reactions. The huge payoffs are rewarding enough to make my brain continue thinking this way, even though I fail on many tech chases. When I'm playing my absolute best, my raw reactions are usually sharp enough to make up for this structural error, but this is not nearly consistent enough for competition at the highest level. So that's kind of the thing, is like, what he's saying is basically he remembers the good and forgets the bad. So his brain's like, yes, remember when we did this hard read up smash? We totally did a great move and got him killed. But let's not remember those 4 times that we totally missed the up smash. It's kind of like the Mango versus Plup set from CEO, where Mango went for the hardest read up smashes that wouldn't have even killed Plup. So it was like, what are you doing? Like, that was the worst tech chasing idea you could have done, because it didn't even get, like, you wouldn't have even got the kill if the up smash hit. So it's just like, you're crazy. Okay. So the correct mental structure for reaction tech chasing is to know exactly what you're going to do in every option before your opponent hits the ground. This is easier said than done, and when I first began to try it, I felt very slow and incapable. I would barely be considering the second tech option by the time they hit the ground. I just wasn't quick enough. As I experimented with this technique with non-Fox characters, I noticed that a number of options that characters have to cover tech chases differs by a huge amount. Fox can do almost anything out of any tech option, giving him a huge number of possibilities that are difficult to sort through. Compare this with Peach. Peach's dash attack is really the only thing that can cover tech away. Because Peach exclusively reacts to tech away with dash attack, this connection becomes stronger and stronger in a Peach player's brain. Over the time, they are able to essentially make this response a reflex, because they only have a single option for it. When under high pressure in tournament, I often default to a very consistent tech chasing style that I've used for a long time, which is up smashing in any tech chase situation. With my new understanding, I see that this is a really simplified calculation of my options in order to avoid being overwhelmed in the search for perfect responses. I believe this reduction of calculation time is paramount to strengthening reactive connections. Another notable user of this reaction tech chase is Leffen, who often dash dance grabs no matter what tech option is chosen. Whew. Okay, so basically, what Fiction's saying in all of this is, you kind of need to get your, we'll read the last paragraph. I believe that this is the foundation of real reactive tech chasing, and that everyone should begin by thinking of options in a simplified way. As the compression of calculation time becomes more pronounced and you become faster and faster at repeating your single option, you may realize that there's enough time to squeeze in another calculation. For example, you could dash dance grab on both tech in and tech away, and then up tilt for both no tech and tech in place. Through repetition, you can create a solid base of reactions to build off of. This structural foundation will give you consistency in your tech chasing without sacrificing freedom of expression or room for growth This structural foundation will give you consistency in your tech chasing without sacrificing freedom of expression or room for growth as you improve your punishes. Once you're very consistent in pushing tech options, the effectiveness of punishes can slowly be refined based on stage positioning, percent, and matchup. Whew. Alright. Jesus, there was a lot of college words in there that I have not read out loud in a long time. So basically, what Fiction is saying, his last paragraph sums it up pretty well, but when you're first learning to tech chase, just think of using one option, and depending on your character is really going to vary. Like he said with Peach, like it's basically only dash attack that can cover like the tech options. Tech in place with Peach would be like a nair, or a grab, or even a dash attack depending on your spacing. But with a character like Fox, like he said, you know, there's nairs, up airs, up smashes, grabs, like you name it, you can probably do it with Fox. Up tilt, he even said. So what you've got to do is first figure out the responses you want to just practice, which is going to be like, with Peach will basically be dash attack, grabs, and nairs is all I can really think of.